As President of the Faculty Senate and as Grand Marshal of the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford, I hereby declare this commencement open. Would those who are able please stand for the singing of the national anthem? Please be seated. Welcome, graduates, families, and friends, to the 2022 commencement of the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford. Because what we do over the next hour or so needs the focus on our graduates, we please ask everyone to silence their electronic devices, both in the KOA Arena and the Blaisdell Hall Bromley Family Theater. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the interim president of the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford, Mr. Rick Ash.
Thank you, Dr. Croft. Good afternoon. On behalf of the faculty, staff, alumni, and advisory board, I extend salutations and congratulations. We welcome each of you to our most important ceremony of the year, the commencement of our graduating students. Today, we bring to an official end another enormously successful academic year at the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford. I can think of no more fitting way to close the academic year than by bidding farewell to another class of very accomplished graduates. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of the platform party. And as I ask them to rise and stay standing, I would ask you to hold your applause until they're all standing. Dr. Livingston Alexander, Professor and President Emeritus of the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford, and this year's commencement speaker, whom I will be introducing more formally in a few minutes. Dr. Janine Schonecker, Chair of the Pitt-Bradford Advisory Board. Mr. Josh Bridge, President of the Pitt-Bradford Alumni Association. Dr. Matt Croft, President of the Faculty Senate. Dr. David Merwine, Chair of the Division of Biological and Health Sciences. Dr. Tony Gaskew, Associate Dean of Academic Affairs. Dr. David Fitz, Interim Vice President and Dean of Academic Affairs. Dr. Bill Schaefer, Interim Vice President and Dean of Student Affairs. Professor Jeff Guterman, Chair of the Division of Communication and the Arts. Dr. Helma DeVries Jordan, Chair of the Division of Behavioral and Social Sciences. Dr. Shalandra Gujanan, Chair of the Division of Management and Education. And Dr. James Baldwin, Vice President for Enrollment Management and Working Marshal. Please join me in recognizing the members of the platform party. Please be seated. Our graduates and their families celebrate this special accomplishment today because of the outstanding efforts of our faculty, staff, and advisory board. These dedicated members of the Pitt-Bradford community make it possible for our students to experience a superior educational opportunity in a caring and intimate setting. Would the members of the faculty, staff, and advisory board please stand to be recognized? Graduates, we're gathered here today to celebrate your achievements. We honor each of you who has earned an Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, or Master of Social Work degree. In so doing, we recognize the completion of an important milestone in your lives, and we wish you the success on the journey you are about to begin. Later on in today's ceremony, we will recognize each of you individually. The Alumni Award of Distinction is an honor that the college confers periodically on a Pitt-Bradford alumnus who has achieved distinction by making noteworthy contributions to their profession, community, or to the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford. This year, I have the great privilege of presenting the Alumni Award of Distinction to Mr. Rhett Kennedy, who I'm going to ask to come forward at this time. Rhett has dedicated his entire adult life to Pitt-Bradford. He began his career here as the Director of Residence Life and Housing 4 years after graduating in 1992 with a bachelor's degree in communications from Pitt-Bradford. Rhett brought an exceptional level of professionalism and integrity to his alma mater. He paid attention to the smallest details. He put the needs of students first. As a result, it didn't take long for Rhett to advance. He was promoted to Assistant Dean of Student Affairs and Director of Housing, and then to Associate Dean, taking on more responsibilities on each step. 10 years later, he transitioned to the Director of Auxiliary Services for Pitt-Bradford, as well as Pitt-Titusville. Then after a national search in 2020, Rhett was named Director of Facilities Management, which came with even greater responsibilities. Throughout his career at Pitt-Bradford, Rhett set an example that many of our campus strive to follow. He was usually the first to volunteer, to take the lead on a project, to put others' needs above his own. He took the same dedication, thoughtful, and selfish approach beyond campus. He coached the Bradford area high school tennis team and the Bradford Community Soccer Club. He was president of the board for the Friendship Table, the Bradford Rotary Club, and the Bradford Olean YMCA. He was the chairman of the board of the Area Transportation Authority for North Central Pennsylvania and also served as a lector in St. Bernard's Church. He was an elected member of Bradford City Council for 4 years. As this year's recipient of the PBAA Alumni Award of Distinction, we have a resolution honoring Rhett, which reads in part, with a deep conviction and passion for the students, faculty, and staff at Pitt-Bradford, you provided countless hours of leadership and guidance. In recognition of your deep commitment to your alma mater, you were the first Pitt-Bradford staff member to receive the Chancellor's Award for Staff Excellence in Service to the University of Pittsburgh. We remain deeply grateful for your unwavering support and contributions to the university's future. So I'm reaching down here for the framed resolution. Here we go. Right. So congratulations, Rhett, and for all of these faculty, staff, and students, we wish you well, and we thank you for everything that you've done for the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford. Thank you. At this time, I would like to make a special presentation. I invite to the podium Dr. Livingston Alexander, Professor and President Emeritus of the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford, who will also be serving as this year's commencement speaker. The Presidential Medal of Distinction is the university's highest honor. It is presented to an individual who has provided extraordinary service to the university over an extended period of time, or who has given substantial support to the university, either financially or with expertise and advice. It is my pleasure to award the 2022 Presidential Medal of Distinction to Dr. Livingston Alexander. Dr. Alexander served as Pitt-Bradford's third president from 2003 to 2018 and led our campus through a time of great change. During that time, increased competition required us to be more aggressive in recruiting from farther away and retaining students. We needed to develop more academic programs to meet the changing needs of the marketplace. And as Pitt-Bradford transitioned to more of a residential campus, we had to build new residence halls and create a more robust, engaging campus life for our students. As president, Dr. Alexander faced these challenges and many others with a calm demeanor and a quiet strength, examining each situation from all perspectives and carefully weighing all of the possibilities. He was a thoughtful, visionary, and compassionate leader who never lost focus that our purpose is to support our students and to help them succeed. Under Dr. Alexander's leadership, our campus saw tremendous growth in nearly every area. Our enrollment increased. We developed 21 new academic majors. Our campus became a robust, student-centered, diverse community. We built 4 residence halls and started a 5th. And we completely renovated and upgraded Swartz and Fisher halls. We added other facilities, including the Harriet B. Wick Chapel and a new athletic facility down at the Kessel Athletic Complex, and the CSI House. We raised more than $33 million, which was used to support our students in a number of ways. For all of these reasons and many more, we unanimously chose Dr. Alexander for this year's recipient of the Presidential Medal of Distinction. Now, this year we have a unique situation. Our Presidential Medal of Distinction recipient is also our commencement speaker. We asked Dr. Alexander to address our graduates this year because of his continued love and commitment to Pitt-Bradford. Dr. Alexander began his career in higher education as a psychology professor at Western Kentucky University, and then advanced into administrative roles at several institutions, including department head and professor at Georgia Southern University, and vice president for academic affairs at Troy State University in Montgomery, Alabama. Before he was named president in 2003, he had been serving as provost and vice president for academic affairs at Kane University in New Jersey. Since retiring in 2018, Dr. Alexander has added another title to his long and impressive resume, published author. Last fall, his memoir, Chasing the Silver Lining, was published, which published his chronicles, his many years in higher education, as well as growing up in the Jim Crow South during the height of the Civil Rights Movement. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Livingston Alexander, this year's recipient of the Presidential Medal of Distinction, and welcome him as our commencement speaker.
With pollen in the air, I'm going to have to reach for my water quite a few times, so please pardon my reach. In fact, I'll do it now before I begin. Thank you very much, President Esch, for that very generous introduction. I'm profoundly grateful to you and the entire campus community for selecting me to receive the Presidential Medal of Distinction. For me, it's the honor of a lifetime to be added to the distinguished group of previous recipients of the award, men and women whose love and dedication for this campus is immeasurable. I proudly accept the award and recognition in honor of all Pitt-Bradford students, past and present, and most especially the 2022 graduating class. President Esch, members of the advisory board, members of the faculty and staff, thank you for the honor of spending a few moments with our graduates on this very special day in their lives. I've always regarded myself as a direct beneficiary of Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy. So in asking me to be this year's commencement speaker, you're providing me the opportunity to bear witness to his legacy. Part of my inheritance from the King legacy is a deep and abiding commitment to advance his dream of equal justice and opportunity for all members of our society, regardless of race, gender, religion, or sexual orientation. I feel obligated to reflect that commitment in my remarks to the graduates today. Accordingly, the theme of my remarks will be reconciliation and healing from the polarizing divisions that currently plague our nation. Graduates, I extend congratulations to each and every one of you, parents, grandparents, husbands and wives, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, faculty and staff, and everybody else who had a hand in supporting the graduates and helping them reach their goal. This is your day as well, your time as well to celebrate. Graduates, after agreeing to be your commencement speaker, I immediately began to think about what we've all been going through the past 2.5 years. The coronavirus pandemic has wreaked havoc on every aspect of our lives. It disrupted your collegiate experience, robbing you of so many opportunities for academic and social engagement on this beautiful campus. I thought about the effects of having to complete your coursework online and in seclusion for at least 3 semesters. I thought about the consequences of not engaging socially with other students for an extended period, especially students who don't look like you or who may reflect different lifestyles, students you perhaps never in your life had a chance to get to know. Now, given what I know about the dedication and expertise of our faculty and the staff members who support them, I'm confident they did everything in their power to enable you to master the specialized subject matter in your major and reinforce that major with a broad-based general education. So I'm not overly concerned about your level of academic preparation. What I do have concern about is the quality of your social engagement during your collegiate experience, your ability to get to know, understand, and empathize with fellow students, especially those who may be different from you. In a society plagued with racial clashes, political clashes, cultural and social clashes, it seems to me a graduate entering such a polarized society needs to have some understanding of the thoughts, feelings, and experiences of people who are different. So as I reflected on my assignment today, I wondered, what message can I share with the graduating class of 2022 that might help them prepare for the complex world they're about to enter? During my 41-year career in colleges and universities, I've had countless numbers of individual and group conversations with students from Generation X, Generation Y, or Millennials, and of course, your generation, Gen Z. Those students did not have to put up with COVID. Their college experience was not disrupted in the way yours was. Over the many years, I was able to engage these students in discussions that enabled them to get to know one another in deeply personal ways. I learned a lot from those discussions, and I tried to imagine what insights those students would think you would want to share with your fellow graduates who are different from you, to make up for not fully engaging with them during your COVID-disrupted collegiate experience. So graduates, I composed 2 farewell statements, and I'd like to share them with you. One farewell statement represents what may be the sentiments of the students of color in your graduating class. The other farewell statement represents what may be the sentiments of your white fellow graduates. Now, I emphasize that the statements are inspired by many previous conversations with students across many demographics, but I hope they reflect, even in some small way, what you wish your fellow graduates would have learned from you had COVID not prevented you from socially engaging with them. So, the first farewell statement I'll share represents what may be the sentiments of the graduating students of color, and it reads as follows. Fellow graduates, we've been through a very difficult time these past 2 years. The pandemic has robbed us of opportunities to get to know one another in up-close and personal ways. There's so much we wanted to share with you about ourselves, our families, and our communities. We suspect you may have come to campus with your minds made up about us, perhaps based on prevailing stereotypes and other information you may have learned dating back to childhood. So we were eager to set the record straight, but as our college career was drawing to a close, we feared we would not have that chance to do that. You might well walk away from your collegiate experience with the same deeply entrenched views about us you possessed when you first stepped onto the campus as freshmen. We're glad we now have this one last opportunity to share with you a few things you might have learned about us if we'd had more opportunities to mingle, more opportunities to sit together in the Commons dining room and tell one another our stories. We want you to know we came to college for no other reason than to search for a pathway to the American dream. We want to fulfill our dream to achieve success in a way our parents and siblings never could. Our intent is to do so without infringing on your rights to pursue your own dreams. No matter what you may hear on cable or social media, you have nothing to fear from us or people in our community. There are enough resources in this country for all of us to achieve our dreams, and in the process, bring about peace, justice, and harmony in our country. By the way, at the times when you see us walk by without saying anything to you, or when you see us in the dining room, sitting only with students who look like us, don't assume it's because we don't like you or don't want to be around you. It's because we never know if you want to speak with us or want to sit with us. We just wish there were an easy way for one person to know when it's okay to reach out to another person, especially if the other person doesn't look like us. We also want you to know when you hear us proclaim Black Lives Matter, it doesn't mean we believe other lives don't matter, and it doesn't mean we believe all law enforcement officers are evil. It's just that, at least in our view, white lives have always mattered in our country, and too many times in our lives, we feel we're treated as if our lives don't matter. George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor are just two of many such examples. Our great fear each day in our lives is that one or more of us will be the next Breonna Taylor or the next George Floyd. Perhaps one day we can sit around a table together in the Commons dining room as Pitt-Bradford alums and make up for what we missed during our collegiate experience. Fellow graduates, we wish you well in all your future endeavors. Sincerely, your fellow members of the 2022 graduating class. The second farewell statement represents what may be the sentiments of the white students in the 2022 graduating class, and it reads as follows. Fellow graduates, we have indeed come to this important moment in our lives after living through a pandemic that forced us into isolation and prevented us from experiencing a full and complete collegiate experience. There is so much we could have experienced together and so much we could have learned about each other that could make our lives more wholesome and fulfilling going forward. We still remain somewhat stuck in the mindset we had when we first set foot on this campus. We initially had some trepidation about being around people who don't look like us or act like us. However, we feel that trepidation slowly fading away. We've actually gotten to know a few students of color in ways we never thought possible. We've made acquaintances that may even result in lifelong friendships if we're able to stay in touch. So in spite of a less than ideal collegiate experience, maybe all is not lost. There is something we'd like to share with you before we go our separate ways. When you see us walk by without saying anything to you, or when you see us in the dining room only sitting with students who look like us, don't assume it's because we're racist or don't want to be around you. It's because we never know if you'll return our greeting or want to sit with us in the dining room. We just wish there were an easy way for a person to know when it's okay to reach out to another person, especially if the other person doesn't look like us. The other thing we'd like you to know is we form our own views and opinions about people. When you hear people in the media or see people on the streets putting other people down because of the way they look or because of they're gay or trans, don't assume we endorse that kind of thinking or behavior. Admittedly, we need to do more to show our disapproval of that kind of behavior when it occurs. We just need time to get over our fear and anxiety in speaking out or taking a stand in the face of injustice. There is one other thing we'd like you to know about us. The media seems to show all white people as happy, successful, and rich. Nothing could be further from the truth. Many of our families struggle to make ends meet. In some ways, certainly not always, but in some ways we're all in the same boat, struggling to find our way in a difficult, very complex world, struggling to figure out where we fit in a deeply polarized society. We wish you the very best as you prepare to take the next steps in your lives. We hope when we meet again, possibly at a Pitt-Bradford alumni event, we can talk candidly about how we can work together to remove the barriers in our society that keep people apart. Sincerely, your fellow graduates. Now, graduates, I hope you don't consider me presumptuous in assuming I know what you may be thinking or feeling. I just feel our country's in turmoil. These are desperate times, and I feel I have to invoke desperate measures to do my part to help heal a dangerously polarized society. You know, when we think about our collective future, many of us rightly worry about climate change and its potential destructive impacts in our environment and the quality of our lives. I fear that unless we find ways to remove the barriers that pit one group against the other, our society will crumble long before climate change overtakes us. So graduates of 2022, the future of our society is in your hands. I hope you will do your part to help our country heal. Finally, the prestigious University of Pittsburgh degree you're earning today will open many opportunities for you. It'll be up to you to make the most of those opportunities. As you walk the long road ahead, I see no limits, no boundaries to what you can achieve. However, and I can assure you, you will encounter obstacles and setbacks along the way. And I'd like to share with you two of the most important lessons I've learned in life. The first lesson comes from a monk in Thailand who recommends we apply this lesson every second of every single day of our lives. He said, "The most important time in your life is now. The most important person in your life is the one you're looking at any given moment. The most important thing you can do in your life is what you're doing now. The best way to prepare for the future is to be totally present now. Now is the moment that never ends." The second lesson is this, and it comes from my lived experience. After every storm, after every hardship, disappointment, frustration, even after every failure, there's always a silver lining. There's always sunshine, always a better day. Someone shows up to lend a hand or offer advice. Of course, more often than not, you will discover the inspiration and resolve inside yourself to create your own silver linings. That's the way of the universe. Silver linings are the benefits of nature. All you have to be is vigilant as you look for the silver linings. Good luck and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alexander, for that very inspiring, moving, and necessary message to our graduates. We really appreciate your being here today to deliver that important message. At this time, I invite Dr. David Fitz, Interim Vice President and Dean of Academic Affairs, to come to the podium to present the students who have completed the requirements for their respective University of Pittsburgh degrees. Dr. Fitz? There we go.
On behalf of the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford faculty, I extend to you the class of 2022. Our congratulations on the completion of your University of Pittsburgh degree. Your success is our success, and we are very proud of you. Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you those students who have completed the requirements for the Associate of Arts or Associate of Science degree. Will the candidates for these degrees please rise?
Today you have completed the requirements for an important academic degree. During these past 2 years, you have undertaken a rigorous program of study. The degree that you have earned will open the door to a life of service as a professional or continued study in a related discipline. Whether your degree is in engineering science, information systems, liberal studies, nursing, or petroleum technology, always remember to practice your profession with skill, competence, integrity, and respect for those individuals you will be privileged to serve. And now, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Pittsburgh, I confer upon you the degrees of Associate of Arts or Associate of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. You may now move your tassel from right to left.
The complete list of graduating students is printed in your programs. For today's ceremony, however, we will be reading only the names of those graduates who are present. As your name is read, please come onto the stage to be recognized and to receive your degree. Alana Allen. Lillian Dorothy Baldwin, cum laude. Jacob Andrew Billisitz. Abby Burkle. Brianna Jean Butler. Alyssa Marie Kolcher, cum laude. Haley Elizabeth Dinesco. Jean Farley. Wendy Fitch. Travis Richard Gleason. Caitlin Hoffman, summa cum laude. Patricia Catherine Lucas. Allison Austin. Lynn Meyer. Elisa Miller. Taryn Minotti. Alexis Montgomery. Madison Sierra Nicholas. Ryan O'Neill. Ekta Patel. Alicia Reese. Julie Rudolph. Madeline May Sunderland. Sydney Lynn Whitfield. Beth Ann Williams. Danya Zavala Garcia. Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you those students who have completed the requirements for the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, or Bachelor of Science or Nursing degree. Will the candidates for these degrees please rise?
Each of you has specialized in a particular academic discipline, and you have done so while becoming broadly educated within the liberal arts tradition. Do keep in mind that the mark of an educated person is to recognize that many of the problems faced by humankind today will not be solved solely with specialized knowledge. The general education competencies you have mastered while completing your specialized knowledge, enabling you to communicate effectively with others, analyze issues in all their complexities, and find solutions for all benefit of all. And now, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, or Bachelor of Science in Nursing, with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities pertaining thereto. You may now move your tassels from right to left.
As your name is read, please come on to the stage to be recognized and to receive your degree. Edem Kwame Agbemabiese. Tyler Ayers. David and Yanaya Ajiri. Corey Anastasia, summa cum laude. Catherine Banks Anderton, magna cum laude. Shaquan Umar Baggett. Sarah Patricia Baldoff. Joseph Bernazzali, magna cum laude. Emily Bethel, summa cum laude. Mackenzie Bonyak, summa cum laude. Adam Christopher Boyer, cum laude. Olubumi Brima, summa cum laude. Denisha Brown. Kaylee Bukowski. Alina Christine Carnegie, cum laude. Caitlin Michelle Case. Kylie Joelle Case, magna cum laude. Sarah Michelle Causer. Jennifer Cicchetti. Jared Chafee. Brandon D. Charniski. Nikita Chattery. Emily Christine Cleveland, cum laude. Madigan Elizabeth Dalton, magna cum laude. Matthew Ryan Davis. Melanie Marie Davis, cum laude. Floyd Doe, cum laude. Victor Xavier Elias, magna cum laude. Olivia Louise Feitner. Cassidy Lynn Fenner, cum laude. Alexander Matthew Fetter. Gabrielle Fogg. Jatiah S. Foster, cum laude. Rebecca J. Fuller. Helen Janae Gaither. Alicia Sue Garrett, magna cum laude. Bianca Gonzalez. Brianna Lynn Goodell. Isaac Andrew Graylick, cum laude. Caleb Hansen, cum laude. Nicholas Joseph Harrington, cum laude. Jack Hasbrook, magna cum laude. Cade Francis Hayden. Grace Heckman. Nathan Christopher Higby. Casey Nicole Hodgson, summa cum laude. Emily Ann Hodge, summa cum laude. Hannah Marcia Evelyn Hopkins. Caitlin Ann Hewlings, cum laude. Shakira Unique Jackson, summa cum laude. Maggie Kaylin James, summa cum laude. Anna Rebecca Cafferlin. Presley Lynn Keene, summa cum laude. Carly Michelle Keenan. Sydney Renee Kiesler, magna cum laude. Brent Patrick Kennedy. Gregory Edward Kessel, magna cum laude. Brock Thomas Kleiber. Joshua Krebs. Jana Mangoni. Ankit Malik, magna cum laude. Timothy Joseph Henry Magro, cum laude. Caitlin Marks, magna cum laude. Emma McLaren, magna cum laude. Ashton McGriff, cum laude. Jacob McNabb, magna cum laude. Anna McNichol, magna cum laude. Lucas McQuain. Adjua Mensa, magna cum laude. Ya Mensa. Victoria N. Merrick. Anantha Mehta, summa cum laude. Noah Davis Myers, cum laude. Alexander Riled Miles, magna cum laude. Michael Clifford Miller. Sarah Ann Miller, cum laude. Hannah Elizabeth Mohesi, cum laude. Elizabeth M. Morini. Peyton Grace Murgatroyd. Tyjay LeRae Murray. Mitchell Nuara, summa cum laude. Lindsay Joan Nagowski. Sarah Irene Nagowski. Gofax Abana Ohene. Shiyu O, summa cum laude. Akshith Patania, cum laude. Lashana Nicole Peaker, cum laude. Bailey Sky Perkins. Claire Elizabeth Perovich, cum laude. Ronisha Jasmine Poland. Boaz Gilson Quinones, cum laude. Shayla Ransom, magna cum laude. Crosby Noah Ravert, magna cum laude. Chase Colin Ryder, magna cum laude. Matthew Terry Ristow, cum laude. Emily Amanda Royer. Taylor Marie Samuelson. Drayson Sanders, magna cum laude. Dominic Santorelli, summa cum laude. Alexis Marie Schofield, cum laude. Madison Eva Sierra, magna cum laude. Claron Kurt Serrano. Jacob Michael Sheldon, cum laude. Courtney Jean Short. Dulcie Marie Shunk. Daniel James Seibel. Tyler Singer, cum laude. Bridget Michelle Smith, magna cum laude. Kelly Marie Smith, cum laude. Colin Snyder, magna cum laude. Hunter Michael Sostakowski. Jacob Adam Sulas, summa cum laude. Aaron Michael Stoddard, cum laude. Samantha Marie Stoltz, summa cum laude. Andre Damir John Strange. Zandra Anne Marie Sweeney, cum laude. Elizabeth Sharseski, cum laude. Reed Michael Tarnowski, summa cum laude. DeAndre Terwilliger. Emily Marie Treat, summa cum laude. Nadif Ilyasa Trihartama. Taylor M. Tishka, summa cum laude. Danielle Zella Tiger, magna cum laude. Stephen Danielle Tiger, cum laude. Jade Lauren Ebelhair, magna cum laude. Timothy Liam Vallely, summa cum laude. Carla Giovanna Vella, magna cum laude. Aiden Jace Vatir, cum laude. Brandon Lee Wade. Seth Allen Walker. Beth Ann Wheaton. Lauren Ray Williams, magna cum laude. Caitlin Ruth Wilson. Fazia Yamego, magna cum laude. Robert Brown, cum laude. Daniel Picklow, cum laude. Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you the student who has completed the requirements for the Master of Social Work degree. Will the candidate for this degree please rise?
You have completed the requirements for the Master of Social Work through the University of Pittsburgh School of Social Work. The education you received has prepared you well to provide services and valuable support to individuals and families and to have a long-lasting impact on their lives. And now, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Social Work at the University of Pittsburgh, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Social Work with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Please come up onto the stage to be recognized. David.
Lisa Cook.
Lisa, congratulations.
All right, now it's time for some hooting and hollering. Let's give them all a round of applause, folks. Yeah.
Again, congratulations, graduates. Would graduating senior Timothy Vallely please stand? Just yesterday, in a ceremony held on campus in the Harriet B. Wick Chapel, Timothy Vallely received a commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. Lieutenant Vallely successfully completed the U.S. Army Reserve Officer Training Corps program at Pitt-Bradford, which offers students in conjunction with the St. Bonaventure University's Seneca Battalion. Following graduation, Lieutenant Vallely will be going to Infantry Basic Officer Leaders Course to become an infantry officer with the U.S. Army National Guard in New York State, assigned to the Geneseo unit. He will also make application to pursue a career as a New York State trooper while continuing to serve in the National Guard. Please join me in a round of applause one more time as we thank him. For the past 12 years, Pitt-Bradford has received recognition as a military-friendly school. And in the last 2 years, our campus has been recognized as a military-friendly spouse school. In the past year alone, we had a total of 32 veterans, reservists, National Guard members, and dependents enrolled at Pitt-Bradford, and today a number of them are graduating. We wish to thank these veterans for their service to the nation, and I ask that they please stand at this time to be recognized. Pitt-Bradford has prided itself for many years on the number of students in each graduating class who are the first in their families to graduate from college. This is a major accomplishment for both these graduates and their families, and we would like to celebrate the significance of this achievement in their lives. Would those graduates who are the first in their families to graduate from college or university please stand and be recognized? As we bring this ceremony to a close, I again offer my congratulations to our graduates and wish all of you the very best as you take this next important step in your journey. You are entering the next phase of your life at a time when our world has become more complicated, and you may be a little apprehensive about taking the next steps in this complex environment. But you are ready. I encourage you to walk boldly with courage and confidence into the future. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Your education from Pitt-Bradford, along with your University of Pittsburgh degree, has equipped you with the tools to face and overcome the world's challenges, both large and small, to help you challenge the world, or at least your own corner of it. As a student here, you've learned how to pursue your passion and focus your attention on what is important to you and to those around you. You've learned how to work with others to collectively find solutions to problems in spite of any differences you may have. You've learned to communicate clearly and concisely, despite all of the surrounding distractions. You've learned to be persistent, because sometimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4 tries before you get the intended result. You learn how to be flexible, to try new methods and different approaches. You've learned to respect and value others who look, live, and think differently than you. You learn to open your minds and your hearts. Having each of these skills and abilities now will serve you very well in this environment. You're prepared to forge ahead, to innovate, lead, create, solve problems, bring hope, inspire, empower, protect, show compassion, be courageous, and effect positive change. You are ready to walk into and take your rightful place in the world. In fact, you're ready to run, not walk. All of us here are confident that you're prepared to have an immediate and positive impact on the community and the world. We look forward to hearing about and watching all of your amazing accomplishments. Please continue to take care of yourself and each other. And as Pitt-Bradford graduates, you join the ranks of a distinguished group of alumni, and we welcome you to our Pitt-Bradford Alumni Association. Please remember to stay connected to your alma mater. As important as it is to pay a tribute to our graduates, it is equally important that we recognize the families of our graduates who have sacrificed much in supporting you throughout your college years. At this time, I ask the spouses, parents, children, grandparents, brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles, and friends of our graduates to please stand to be acknowledged. The support and dedication that you have provided to our graduates has enabled them to achieve their dreams today. I now ask those of you who are able to please stand as we prepare for the singing of the alma mater. The singing of the alma mater will be followed by the closing of the commencement and the recessional. During the recessional, please remain in your seats until the entire procession of faculty, staff, and advisory board has left the arena. After the commencement ceremony, I invite you to attend an informal reception that will be held outside underneath the tents right across on Campus Drive. Mr. Sprout will now play through the alma mater one time to familiarize yourself with the melody. And on the second playing, please join in singing, which will be led by Shakira Jackson, one of our new graduates today. The words are printed inside of the cover of your program. Shakira.
I hereby declare this commencement closed.